Well, early in the campaign, you'll remember Donald Trump was mocked for appearing confused by just how many Corinthians there are in the New Testament. Come Election Day, did evangelical voters care? Well, if they did, it didn't affect their votes. They supported Trump overwhelmingly. As part of a groundbreaking new series where we explore life outside of Washington, New York, and Los Angeles, Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seri headed out the first Sunday after the election to talk to some of those voters.
Republicans have long courted Christians, especially during the primaries, but Donald Trump won white evangelicals by a record 81% in last week's presidential election.
Unlike a lot of previous nominees who sort of backed away and kept those voters and their issues at arm's length during the general election, he embraced them and pulled them close.
It may seem an unlikely marriage for a candidate who's been twice divorced and often criticized for vulgar banter.
They were never under any illusions that Donald Trump was one of them.
But conservative political activist Ralph Reed says evangelicals had a simple request.
That he shared their issues agenda and that he would fight for it. And during the course of a very tough campaign, he persuaded them on both of those points.
Atop their agenda, composition of the Supreme Court and abortion.
Evangelicals feel very strongly about abortion.
I don't know if Roe versus Wade would get overturned, but it would be my hope.
The issue of sanctity of life was paramount.
He came out strongly pro-life. Hillary definitely is not.
And the fact that he's pro-life is my main reason.
I'm not necessarily voting for a candidate, I'm voting for the platform.
Dr. Michael Youssef, who runs a worldwide television and radio ministry, says evangelical voters don't just care about where their candidate stands on the issues, but the people he surrounds himself with.
I know Mike Pence, who's a great man and a stalwart supporter of life. He's been that when he was in Congress. And so I really had no hesitation whatsoever voting for the ticket.
The role conservative Christians played in this election disproved any doubts about their staying power, according to Hollywood actor Kirk Cameron.
It did not turn out to be the final hour for evangelical Christians in America, but potentially our finest hour.
Many Christians see the election as a victory for their core beliefs and values, but in order for their agenda to reach fruition, evangelical leaders understand this is just the first step, and they need to remain actively involved in the political process. Tucker?
Thanks, Jonathan.